There's lots to love about Cleveland, but a lot of what we love has been lost. Thankfully, Laura DeMarco has found our old favorites once again, and she shares these places from the past in her book, Lost Cleveland. Laura is the arts and entertainment reporter for the Cleveland Plain Dealer. So welcome to our show.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
Well, you're talking about current art and events and things going on now. What brought you to write a book about the past?
Well, I'm a third-generation Clevelander, and I do write a lot about current things for the Plain Dealer, but I grew up hearing these stories from my dad and grandma about a Cleveland that was so different than the Cleveland I was living in, and I just wanted to, investigate and see what had come before.
Okay. You started something first in the paper, right?
Yeah, I started writing about Cleveland history and preservation and the lack of preservation for the paper. But I just, about a year ago, I decided I wanted to do more than what I could fit into a newspaper article, and the book was the result of that.
All right, so I'm sure the list of the losts is actually pretty big. We don't have enough time to talk about them all, but I want you to talk about a few of your favorites, like Euclid Beach Park.
Yeah, so when I do talk about Lost Cleveland, that is probably the thing that people remember the most. And it makes a lot of sense because Euclid Beach Park was there from 1895 to 1969 on the eastern shores, of Lake Erie and Cleveland here. And it just had a lot of, great memories for people. There was the beach house, the dance hall, the rides, the popcorn, the custard. So, it really inspired a lot of fun memories in people.
Yeah, I've heard about it even though I never went there, so.
Me too.
On your list next is something that was actually built not to last.
Right. This was the Great Lakes Expo of 1936 and 37 down on the lakefront in front of where Municipal Stadium was. And Cleveland was very hard hit by the Great Depression, and the civic leaders and business leaders came up with this festival, kind of a World's Fair, to bring people back down into the city. And more than 7 million people came to the fair over those 2 summers. It was considered a failure, but by their terms,
that would have been great.
But by our terms, that was huge. And it had a lot of great entertainment, brought people into the city, helped local businesses. And as you said, that wasn't meant to last, and it ended up being demolished after 1937.
Okay. And I know people used to go downtown to shop, and we think of the stores downtown, we think of things like Higbee's and Hallie's and Sterling Linder and those places that were there, but you focused on one called The Bond. The Bond.
So The Bond was at East 9th and Euclid, and it was a little different looking than a lot of the other stores. It was an Art Deco or Art Moderne type of building. It was open in 1947 until 1978 when it was demolished for what is now National City Center, to give you a sense of where it was. It was inspired by World's Fairs, speaking of World's Fairs, and movie musicals, and it just had a fantastic, really beautiful kind of little bit futuristic look to it.
Yeah, that picture, that's amazing. It looks very futuristic. I would like it there now.
I know, I think it would fit in well with downtown now.
It would now. And we also have to note the place that's responsible for bringing the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to Cleveland.
Yes, when people started to build a case for bringing the Rock Hall here, this was the major site that they mentioned, Record Rendezvous, over at 300 Prospect Avenue. Was opened by Leo Mintz in the late 30s, and around 1950 he had listening stations there, and he looked up, saw some kids dancing, said they're rocking and rolling. Coincidentally, he sponsored the Moondog Hour by DJ Alan Freed, who we've all heard of, and together those two got together and threw the world's first rock concert at the old Cleveland Arena, which is also in the book, another lost landmark. And really that's sort of what our case for the Rock Hall was built on, those venues, and they have a huge importance in the music world and Cleveland history.
All right. Thanks for bringing us in touch with some of these past things that some people know and some people don't know.
Yeah, thank you so much.
In Laura's book, Lost Cleveland, there are many, many more pictures, stories, and memories of places that mattered here in Cleveland, but now, sadly, don't exist anymore. To find out more about Lost Cleveland, use the information that's coming up next. And my thanks to Laura DeMarco for joining us today.
Lost Cleveland is available for purchase at local bookstores and on Amazon.com. And to learn more, call 440-668-3283 or click to www.facebook.com/LostCleveland.